Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It's been a long time. Appreciate you guys for actually coming back and staying tuned. But we got some news for you. One of the best parts of football is the offseason, and it's finally here. But first, we got to congratulate the Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, wind up defeating the Kansas City Chiefs. Former coach Nick Sirianni, Isaiah Rodgers, and those guys went out there and got them a ring. Proud of those guys. They got it done. But we move to the most interesting part, the free agency and then the draft. So it's day one of free agency, pretty much tampering season has begun for the NFL. And the Indianapolis Colts did not sit on their hands. As you can see from the titles, they went out there and made some moves. Now, I'll be the first to admit I was one of those guys that went out there after Presser's ballot presser, sorry, Ballard's presser, when he went out there, you could see the tone changed in his voice and his approach and how upset he was in the past of his recent transactions. But he mentioned how he was going to be more aggressive and there was going to be a change in the offseason. And a lot of people, they took it for granted. A lot of people counted him off. They said, bargain Ballard. He's not going to make any moves. He says the same thing every year. And I was the one of those guys. I was one of those guys that said, you know what? I actually believe Ballard. I think he's going to be making moves this year, and I think it's going to be a different offseason than what we're used to seeing. A lot of people caught some flack from a lot of strays from people. They did say a few things, but like I said, if you don't believe me, the proof is on the channel. Check it out on YouTube. I got evidence. You let me know. But like I said, I am owed an apology from a lot of people because I said I was one of those believers. After listening to him, I can feel that there was a difference from what we were used to hearing. And little to behold, this offseason has just begun, and we already made some key moves. So I'm excited to see what they got moving forward. To be honest, I'm excited for next season as well. But we got to go down the list. We got some people from out of free agency, and we wound up losing some players as well. I'm going to go through all of it, so stay tuned. You guys hit the like button, subscribe as well. All platforms, appreciate all your support. But let's go ahead and hop into it. So the first move, from my recollection, was Dayo Odangbo being moved to Chicago. He wound up leaving Indianapolis Colts. One of the longest wingspans on the defensive line. He's pretty quick for his height as well. He had pretty good raw score and pretty good combine as well. So he wound up going to Chicago. The Chicago got them a good one. He's still young, got a lot of talent left in him. If he could stay on the field, he could be a dangerous piece on that defensive line. So he wound up going to Chicago. But after that, the news broke that the Colts made a move in the secondary, wound up getting Vikings Cam Bynum, Cam Bynum, which was a guy that we've recently just faced. He wound up picking off the Colts with his dance celebrations and things of that nature. He's a premier piece in the backfield and wound up coming to Indianapolis. And the safety help is something that we actually needed. So I was shocked to see that the Colts wound up getting him on the roster. He was one of the priority players that the Colts fans wanted if he was available. So the Colts wound up going to get him. And Cam Bynum is now on the team. The contract looked like it's a 4-year, $60 million deal. So Ballard's spending money. Ballard's spending money. He made some move. So Colts fans was happy. We threw a party, a parade, everything. We were excited. A lot of people were like, okay, he's going to make this move, and that's going to be it. But lo and behold, that is not it. That is not the only move that the Colts has made. Because right after that, the Colts wound up going out there and getting Tre'Davious Ward, a guy that the Colts wanted for a few seasons now. He's been on the move, in questions of being on the move for a few years, especially last year. A lot of people think it's a year too late, but never say it's too late. So Tre'Davious Ward has finally left San Francisco and heading to Indianapolis. Looked like it's a 3-year deal, $60 million, $35 million guaranteed, along with a $20 million signing bonus. So the Colts got them a star corner, which is another need. So going towards the draft, it looking like a lot of fans going to look towards that Tyler Warren direction. It's starting to look brighter and brighter as the time goes on. But like I said, a star corner outside is what we needed to go with what we already got. A huge piece with Kenny Moore, and we're biting back there. And we got, Nick Cross as safety. It's a lot of good pieces. And he's going to be teaming up with his former teammate back in Indianapolis. So it's going to be a nice prediction to go into the season to see what we can do with this team. With Jalen Jones out there, um, and Walmack out there as well. It's going to be interesting, especially with not Julian Blackman, Juju Brents returning from his injury. It's going to be interesting. Ballard mentioned adding competition to the room, and he wasn't lying because going out there getting Bynum and Chavarius Ward is definitely competition, and I love to see it. And those are two huge signings, especially for this defense that definitely needs the boost. And bringing in Lou Anarumo, his new defensive system. Both of these guys are feeling like they can have a big impact going into next year. So after that, the Colts wind up losing someone after, after the whole Dial Adangbo to Chicago. The Colts wind up losing Ryan Kelly, the leading center of the Indianapolis Colts is finally gone. A lot of people mentioned this to be as a rumor and speculations for a few years now. A lot of people thought that Ryan Kelly was going to be gone a long time ago. Of course, true vet, all pro, pro bowler, one of the best centers in the game when he's healthy. A premier piece on that offensive line next to him and Big Q. So it's going to be a little weird not seeing Ryan Kelly out there. But Tanner Bartolini, he's had himself a good impact since he's been on the field. So I'm excited to see what he does out there. And I was one of those guys that mentioned when Ryan Kelly got hurt, Tanner Bartolini, he had himself a few good games. And I was like, and honestly, I wouldn't mind keeping Tanner at center for the rest of the season. And lo and behold, I guess his reps was good enough to get him that starting role already. So shout out to Tanner Bartolini, one of those guys you can move around on the offensive line. But keeping him in one spot could definitely be, something good for the future. But Ryan Kelly wound up going to Minnesota. Congratulations to Ryan Kelly for actually getting the deal done and another home out there in Minnesota. 2 years, $18 million deal. Got the deal done. Got him another team. So best of luck. Appreciate all of his services and his time in Indianapolis. Like I said, he had a lot of good. He had more ups than he had downs, in my opinion. He's one of the best centers in the football in his prime. So shout out to Ryan Kelly. Wish him the best of luck in his new location. So we'll see how he plays out there in Minnesota. You guys let me know your thoughts about Ryan Kelly as well. And the move after that, the Colts wind up going out there and getting Ashton Dulin back on a 2-year deal, $8.5 million. Ashton Dulin is one of the premier pieces on the Colts, whether you guys like it or not. Special team, he's one of the best out there, especially at receiver. I think he's one of the underrated talents as well. When the wide receiver room had a down spot, and he was one of those pieces that actually went out there and made some plays. So shout out to Ashton Dulin, bringing him back. Like I said, he's one of the best special teams players in the league, especially for the Colts as well. Him and Rigoberto Sanchez, they're going to be doing their thing. So shout out to Dulin, and it's good to have him back on the roster. I couldn't see him anywhere else, so it's good to see him back in Indianapolis. But other than that, Braden Smith was the first official move that I forgot to mention. His contract got restructured, but they did not tell us specifically what the contract restructured was. So hopefully they'll give us that news later. But other than that, we lost Ryan Kelly. We lost Hurricane Dio. The news on Will Fries, EJ Speed, and Julian Blackman are still in question. It looks like Julian Blackman might be on the move due to the recent moves we just had. Julian Blackman was one of my favorite players, another ball hawk. But, getting Bynum is definitely a good replacement. He's a ball hawk as well, especially Jadavius Ward. So losing Julian Blackman is the ultimate sacrifice that I'm willing to take. Will Fries, he's still out there in the market, and EJ Speed's out there in the market as well. It looked like we might lose him too. But it's interesting to see where this team goes. But as of day one of free agency, the Colts, they made some good moves, man, honestly. So it's interesting to see what they may do next. But this Colts team is definitely looking on the bright side for the secondary so far. Tre'Davious Ward, Jalen Jones, Kenny Moore, Cameron Bynum, and Nick Cross. This is the secondary so far. And it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can go out there and make some offensive moves next. For defensive side, I feel like if we can go out there and get another linebacker or maybe Trey Hendrickson, a lot of Colts fans are still in the air about going to acquire Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with that. But other than that, the Colts, man, they made a lot of moves on day one, and a lot of people were not used to that. So that's a good thing. So hopefully they can keep it going. The free agency is just starting, so we don't know what's going to happen. Day two, prices are going to start getting a little cheaper, and more players are going to start to become more available due to prices. So who knows where people may go. But it's been a lot of crazy moves so far in free agency, so it's going to be interesting. I think this is one of the best off seasons day one so far, just because the Colts made moves. But that's my opinion, not yours. But I've been having fun. Like I said, I believe Ballard after his presser and what he said he was going to do, changing his approach. A lot of people didn't do so, so he went out there, and a lot of people are don't say it, do it type of fans, and he went out there and did it. Day one, made a lot of good moves. So hopefully we can see some more moves moving forward before the draft. It's going to be interesting. We still don't have a backup quarterback yet. The backup quarterback right now so far is Jason Bean. So it's interesting to Bean on the QB roster. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Colts do. We don't even have a backup running back either. But the Colts, it's time is still on the clock. They still got some time to make some moves. Like I said, they usually are aggressive towards the end of free agency, but day one is a huge change. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do after this. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section as well about day one of free agency. I'll be back for day two and day three. If they make any more splashes, hopefully they will. I'm pretty sure they will. Shout out to Chris Ballard for being aggressive, going out there and attacking the positions that need help. So it's going to be interesting. And you guys let me know your thoughts about the recent moves as well. Tre'Davious Ward, Bynum, Will Fries, what should we do with him? Dio, and Ryan Kelly. Let me know all these things in the comment section. This is Culture Shock. You guys stay tuned. Appreciate you.